In this video, how to get Colombian residency and citizenship through marriage. If you are married to a Colombian or considering marrying a Colombian, this video is an absolute must watch. I'm going to break down the pathway to citizenship. I'm going to break down how to get residency and walk you through the entire process step by step, the requirements, the timelines, and some pro tips to make it smooth sailing. Plus, I'll answer the big question: how long until you're holding a Colombian passport? So grab a tinto, that's the Colombian word for coffee. Hopefully you know that by now. And let's dive right in. And by the way, if you like this kind of content, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It helps us grow the channel. So first things first, why Colombia? Why get a Colombian passport? Maybe you're not even living in Colombia full time. Maybe you're living in the US or Canada or Europe or whatever, but you just so happen to be married a Colombian and you're wondering, well, what would it look like to spend a couple of years in Colombia and work towards Colombian citizenship? I would argue if you do not have multiple passports and you need to obtain a second passport for all the benefits of having a second passport, it's well worth the sacrifice because, quote unquote sacrifice, because it's going to unlock not just Colombia, which is already a very good passport, but it's going to unlock all of South America. Colombia is part of two different economic trade areas, the Andean community as well as the Mercosur. So having that Colombian passport, you're going to get visa-free travel to over 130 countries. You get visa-free access to the Schengen. It's actually a very solid passport, standalone by itself. But one other cool benefit is it's going to allow you the right to live and work anywhere in South America via the Mercosur and Andean community agreements. So that means you'll be able to live and work in Chile or Brazil or Paraguay or Argentina, wherever you want to go. Having that Colombian passport is going to unlock the entire continent for you. Marriage is one of the easiest ways to secure residency in Colombia, and it can set you up for citizenship faster than most other routes. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's start with the basics and work our way up. So step one is getting married in Colombia or abroad. So you got to get married. Whether you do it in Colombia or your home country, there are a few hoops to jump through and it kind of changes the process a little bit. So let's break it down. If you're tying the knot in Colombia, you'll head to a notaria, a notary office, or a church if you're going the religious route. You'll need some documents like your passport, birth certificate translated into Spanish, and a certificate of single status from your home country to prove that you're free to marry. That last one might come from your embassy or local authority, depending on where you're from. We can help you get all these documents. But quick tip, all foreign documents need to be apostilled, okay? And they also must be translated into Spanish by an official translator. If you're marrying outside Colombia, like in the US, UK, or wherever, you can still use that marriage for residency in Colombia. You'll just need to register it in Colombia later. So you'll take your marriage certificate to a Colombian consulate to get it apostilled and legalized, and then you can register it with a notaria in Colombia within a few months of arriving. Either option works. It's just about what fits your situation best. Once you're married, it's time to move on to residency. So quick note here, MyLatinLife is a full-scale immigration consultancy. We can help you get residency and citizenship in Colombia as well as any other country in Latin America. We do Panama, we do Ecuador, Paraguay, Mexico, whatever. And we do a lot of Colombia. We do the digital nomad visa. We do the business visa. We do the marriage visa. So we do everything in Colombia that you can imagine. So if you want help obtaining residency or citizenship by marriage in Colombia, there is a link in the description where you can book a call with us. You'll be speaking with me directly, Vance, the founder of MyLatinLife. You will be our client and we're going to put you on a path to residency and citizenship. I have the best team in Colombia that you could possibly have for handling this residency process. This is something you do not want to do yourself. You're going to want to do it with some kind of fixer or lawyer, and we have the best team you could possibly have, bilingual, Spanish, English speaking. So again, link in the description, book a call, and let's get you sorted out. All right, moving on with the next step of the video here, which is applying for residency. So you're married, felicidades. Now let's get you the residency. In Colombia, this is called the Visa de Residente por Matrimonio, or the Migrant Visa Type M, based on marriage. Since you're married to a Colombian, you qualify for this visa, which eventually leads to permanent residency. So here's the process. If you're outside Colombia, you'll apply at a Colombian consulate. If you're in Colombia, say on a tourist visa, you can apply online through the Ministerio de Relaciones Exteriores website and finalize it with Migración Colombia. Either way, you're going to need a bunch of documents. One, your marriage certificate, either the Colombian one or the foreign one that you registered. Two, your passport valid for at least 6 months, ideally a year or more. Three, proof of your spouse's Colombian citizenship, like their cédula or birth certificate. Four, the visa application form. Five, proof of financial stability, like bank statements or income, basically to prove that you won't be a burden on the state. Six, a passport size photo and some fees. Submit everything, and then the consulate or Migración Colombia will process it. If you're already abroad, they'll stamp the visa in your passport and you'll have 6 months to enter Colombia. Once you're in the country, you'll register with Migración Colombia within 15 days to get your Cédula de Extranjería, which is your foreigner ID card. So how long does it take? Usually 1 to 3 months, depending on where you apply and how busy they are. Consulates can sometimes be quicker, but don't quote me on that. The lawyers that we work with will have the most up-to-date information. Obviously, it depends on what country's consulate versus in Mexico. And our team will be able to help determine what is going to be the fastest route to you or the most convenient logistically for you. It just really depends on what your goals are and your flexibility in terms of travel. Moving on, let's talk about living in Colombia as a resident. So you've got your Type M visa. This is awesome. So what does that mean? This visa lasts for 3 years and it lets you live and work in Colombia legally. You'll use your cédula for everything, for opening bank accounts, signing a lease, and even getting a local SIM card. After those 3 years, you can upgrade to a permanent resident visa. This is called the Visa de Residente, which is Type R. So your type of visa is going to switch. And by the way, I have another video on the channel about the different visa types in Colombia. There's the visitor visa, the M visa, the migrant visa, and the R visa, which is the permanent visa. So there's 3 types. So you'll start on the M, and then after 3 years, you will upgrade to the R, which is indefinite as long as you don't leave Colombia for more than 2 years straight. One thing to note, your residency is linked to your marriage. If you divorce before getting permanent residency or citizenship, you might lose this status and need to switch to another visa type like a work or investment visa. So keep the love strong, at least until you get permanent residency or citizenship. So now let's talk about going for citizenship, the big prize, the Colombian pasaporte, the passport. So once you've been a resident, you can apply for naturalization, and being married to a Colombian cuts the wait time significantly. Normally, foreigners need 5 years of residency in Colombia to qualify, but if you're married to a Colombian, it's just 2 years with the Type M visa. Even better, if you upgrade to the permanent Type R visa after 3 years, you can apply for citizenship right away, as long as you've hit that 2-year mark in total. Hopefully that wasn't confusing, but here's what you'll need. One is proof of your 2+ years of residency, your visa records and cédula. 2, your marriage visa, still valid of course. 3, a clean criminal record check from Colombia and your home country. For basic Spanish proficiency, you'll need to pass a simple interview in Spanish. So you want to be at least like base conversational. And then 5, an application form and some fees. And the process is going to take 6 months to a year, sometimes longer if there's a backlog. Once approved, you'll take an oath, get your citizenship certificate, and can apply for a Colombian cédula de ciudadanía and passport. As a bonus, Colombia allows dual citizenship, so you can keep your original nationality as well. You will become a dual citizen. Now let's talk about some common tips and pitfalls and mistakes. So first, get your documents apostilled or legalized early. Delays here can stall everything. Apostilles can take some time. Okay. Second, consider hiring an immigration lawyer or consultant. Colombia's system is very bureaucratic and it can be very frustrating, and a pro can really speed things up every step of the way. When it comes to getting your residency approved, when it comes to getting your citizenship to the top of the pile in terms of your application, using a well-connected lawyer, which we have, is going to make things way faster, way easier, and you don't have to become an expert in all these processes. They're going to do everything for you so that you can focus on your business, and you have to do like the bare minimum if at those times that you need to show up for appointments and so forth. But I highly recommend using an immigration lawyer or consultant. You do not want to do this by yourself, so whether you choose us or somebody else, just do it with somebody who knows the game, who knows the system in and out, okay? Again, there's a link in the description where you can book a call with us to get this process started. If you qualify, you should absolutely do this. It's really a no-brainer, and we're ready for you. We're ready to get your process started and put you on a path to citizenship. Another tip is to brush up on your Spanish. It's not just for your citizenship. It's going to help you settle in, charm the locals, and it's overall going to facilitate everything in Colombia. So really make the effort to at least get conversational for Spanish. You are going to need it when it comes time to becoming a citizen. Now for some common mistakes. The big one is forgetting to register your foreign marriage in Colombia or missing the 15-day window with Migración Colombia after arriving. So don't sleep on these deadlines. Set calendar alerts. Work with a lawyer so they can tell you all the deadlines that you need to be aware of. And hopefully that is helpful. Don't say we didn't warn you. So there we go, your complete guide to Colombian residency and citizenship through marriage. From the wedding bells to a Colombian passport, it's an exciting journey and totally achievable. If this video helped you, smash that like button, share it with a friend, share it with anybody that you know who is married to a Colombian or about to get hitched. This will absolutely help them out. And subscribe to the channel for more guides like this on visa, residency, and citizenship in Colombia and all across Latin America. See you in the next video.